By this time, we have a fair knowledge on how to work on different visuals. We understood about Power Query, we understood about Power BI reporting. Very importantly, as an analyst, we need to be very sure about where to slice the data or where to apply the filters, and the visuals has to be very informative, where it has to be so good to control as per the user needs, right? When I say that in a dashboard, when I say dashboard, it will be having multiple charts, multiple reports at one place, right? So the chart has to be so flexible that depending upon the needs, a user must feel comfortable to say, okay, now I need this particular area's data on this particular date. A designer, a Power BI designer, must have this knowledge to say when, how to give the filters or slices. This is very important for a developer or a Power BI developer or an analyst. Okay. When I talk about slices, why is it required? One importantly, slices or filters. Why is it required? As per the industry, the slices or filters are required to make sure the report must be having some good usability for the users. That is, the user must feel flexible to see the reports how he or she wants, right? For that, the report can be on a page wise or report wise, and now we will understand, right? So when I say that filters are of different types, right? The filters can be of let me say I have a particular report. In that report is on a sales report, right? So sales report can be sales with respect to the product, sales with respect to the city, sales with respect to the country, or sales with respect to the categories, right? Whatever it is, depending upon the different items, or depending upon different fields, we have been built a sales report. Let us understand. Now the user must feel that, okay, now I have a complete sales report. I just want to see how is the Bangalore performance with respect to electronic goods. So I'm talking about two filters here: the city with respect to Bangalore and the item with respect to electronics. So this flexibility has to be given to the users, where he need to start applying the filters or slices in a way that as per his needs, he must be able to view the report. This is the usability of filters and slices. So when we talk about filters or slices, there are different kind, right? We can apply the filter for every visual. Let me say here is a bar chart, here is a scatter plot, and here is a line graph. You can apply the filters for individual visuals. Those are called as visual level filters, right? And we can apply the filters for the entire page. Okay, for the entire what are the page you have been seeing, where once when you change any filter, it will be implemented or it will be applied for the entire page. This is called as a page level filter. One is for the individual visual, second is for the page. Okay, then it can be for the entire report, right? So once when you make one change, it would be affected for the entire report. For example, if you select the city as Bangalore, the data, whatever you have built the report, will be consecutively affected for all the sheets and all the pages in the entire report. This is something which is called as report level filter. Then slicer, user controlled slicer, right? It is a very interactive filler, or I can say, where there will be a slices on the screen, so that depending upon the user needs, automatically he or she will be able to control the visuals or the reports, right? There is a difference between the filters and slices, right? So when I say filters and slices, filters would be not so user comfortable, whereas slicer is user comfortable. Mean to say, anyone who don't even know how to operate on any of the technology can easily go through slicer, edit it, but not with respect to the filter, right? So when I say difference between the slicer and the filter, the advanced level of filter is the slicer. That is something you should need to understand, right? Okay, so when we call about slices, there are a lot of slices again, okay, which you will be understand practically. Okay, and we can also understand about cross filtering. That is, one level of visuals will be having an effect to the other visual. Okay, if you change at one visual something, another visuals will be changing. So this kind of cross filtering and cross highlighting is also possible, right? And when we talk about advanced filtering, we can actually control the filters through DAX expressions, right? we can write some custom conditions to get the advanced level filtering. That's what we need to understand with respect to the filters and with respect to the slicers, right? So in a high level, what we do with filters is like, slices or advanced level of filters, depending upon the need, whether it's on a visual level or it can be the page level or it can be the report level, is something user can control with respect to filter as well as with respect to slicer. We get into the hands-on, then I can explain you in a glimpse of what is that you have understood and how this would be used in the industry.
So, in previous session, we learned how to create Boroplex map to spot the special trends to show which state is highest revenue. And the next session, we did to create a line chart to show the revenue based on the month of the year, particular month of the year. Where we had used line chart to create that. So, next question, we'll do on creating a bin of size 10 for the age measure, create a new dimension to show the revenue. So they're asking to create age bin size of 10. So first we have to create the age measure for that to create to show a new dimension. Let's get back to practicals now. So this is the previous sales by year and month, and so this is the revenue by state to highlight which state has highest revenue, and this will be the sales by year and month name. So we had extracted month name for the order date, and for that month name we have applied sales to check which month has highest sales to see that. Next question, to create the bin size for the age. So first what we have to do is we have to create the measure for age before creating the bins for that. Bins is nothing but grouping those things based on the data we have. So first, to create age measure, so first we have to see what is the dates we have. We have order date here. In that order date we have to create the age measure. To create the age measure, so the data difference we have to check. So order date difference, from if you want to calculate age here, we have to get the date difference from this date order date to particular today's date, and we have to get that in years or in any interval of your choice. So I'm just creating one with DAX here, data analysis expression. So just I'm clicking on new column to get the difference from order date to today's date. I'm creating new column here. I'm selecting new column. So I'm just writing age as the variable name and typing date difference is a function. Date difference is a function. After that, we have to use what is the start date and end date, 2 days difference. So I'm selecting the data as order date here. Then up to today's date I want. So I want that interval in years. So for that particular order date to today's day this difference in year. Then I'm getting the difference in year. You can see the date 2016 to 2025 is a 9-year difference, and 2017 to 2025 is an 8-year difference. We got this measure. Then we have to create a bin for it to group this age. So if you can see here, there is a age only group between 8, 9, 10, 11, but the group the age from 10 size. So what you have to do, you have to, in the data field, you have to click on that 3 ellipses. So you'll get new group. Click on that new group. So there's the age you are grouping it in bin. So minimum value it was the 8 and the maximum value is 10. Bin size, if we create 10 here now, so it will group that value the data in this size. So you can see the minimum value is 8 here and maximum value is 11 here. So all the bin size will be in 10 itself here because we don't have much data here. So the group of bins with only having the 10 size, if you are getting the whatever the data about 10 and 10, you get 10 as bin size, and below 10 it will be 0 because you have grouped like that. So if you want to see clearly, you can group it the since you have 8 to 10 11 age here, you can see you can group it to 5 bin size, so you'll get all the 8-9 groups in 5 range, and you'll get this after 10 to 11 ages in 10 bin size you'll get. So the vast you can use it. So all this age belongs to 0 to 10 age here bin size, so that's how you can show it in visual way. You can represent that bin to show that sales based on that bin group. You can select that 0 to 10. Based on that, you can represent your sales in bin size. So there are how many bin size you have there, whatever the sales you have in that age group, and you have only 9 and 8 age here. Based on that, what was the sale? Based on that, you are representing your sales here based on the group of your age here. So again, you have to format this font size and font style. And again, you can format your x-axis values, y-axis values to see clearly. So in the age between 0 here, the group of that, you are getting this amount of sales, and in the 10th bin group, you are getting this amount of sales. So you have highest in below 10 size of age group, you have the highest sales here. That's what you can get here in creating the bins. That's what the next question they have asked. Create a bin of size 10 for the age measure. Create a new dimension to show the revenue for that. That's what you can do. Next question will be to create a donut chart chart view to show the percentage of revenue per region by creating a zero axis in the calculated field. So you can directly do this. So donut chart is, we'll get back to practicals. I'm selecting new page. So donut chart is a variation of pie chart with a hole in the center. So it represents the data proportional segments of a circle where the entire chart is equals to 100%. The hole in the center can often use for additional insight like a total of key performance, like a indicator, KPIs or something. So we'll select the donut chart. So our question was to create to show the percentage of data revenue per region. So I have to select region here for the legend. I have selected donut chart. For the legend, I have to select the region because they have asked, the question was to get the percentage of revenue per region by creating a zero axis in the calculated field. So they're not asking you to create anything in calculated field. So you have to get the percentage of data by the region here. So drag and drop region in donut chart in legend, and in values you will select sales. So you'll get a percentage of the data based on the regions here. So all these segments represent your different categories. So you can see the purple color will be in your west region, the blue color is in east region, and the light blue color is in central region, and orange color is in your south region, and the size of each segment corresponds to your proportion of the totals, whatever the data you had in that sales for that region. The center hole can display the totals, other insight if you want again. So now I can format this. So you have legend, slice, and detailed labels and rotations here. So you are getting all the regions in the center right. If you want to change it in left, right, or top centered, or top right, or top left, or bottom right, center left, wherever you want, you can adjust that your legend, and you can rename this. You can reduce the font and increase the font based on the requirement and change the font color. And if you want to change the text for that legend region, then you can do that. Slice, you can change the colors. If you're not happy with the colors of your slice, you can change it. And inner radius, if you want to increase that circle size, you can do that. The inside hole inner radius size, if you want to, then you can do that. And detail labels, it's showing the data, what was the sales for that particular region with the percentage it's showing. If you want that to be outside or inside the data to be displayed, you can do that. Preferred outside, it's better for the better display. And it's showing only the data value on percentage. If you want to have the percentage of total, you can have it. Or you can have a category with a percentage of table. It's showing east with what is the percentage of the table. Or if you want data value, what was the sales and what was the percentage, if you want to see, you can use data value and percentage of total here. On all detailed tables, it will get all the what was the region, what is the data, and what's the percentage of it you can get. And if you want to increase that value, font size, font color, that you can do it now for the values, the data display, and display units in auto. If you want to change that in thousands or millions or in billions, you can change that like it be auto. And if you want to rotate your donut chart, you can rotate it based on the requirement, or let it be there as it is, because it will show the anti-clockwise data. So based on west, it's starting from west, since it has a higher percentage of data here. It sales, it's distributed 31.58% for the west region, and for east region is 29.55% based on data here. And the next one is followed by central, which is having 21.82%. Next one you have least one, that is south, having 17%, because you have 391.72k sales for that particular region. That's why you are getting the sales distribution for in a percentage using donut chart. So it will show the sales distribution across 4 regions here, with the center showing a total sale, or you can provide a total sale or let it be as it is. You can do that. That's what with your donut chart to get the output here. We'll go to next question. So we have created a donut chart to show the percentage of revenue per region by creating zero axis in the calculated field. Next, we'll go to the next question here. So they're asking to create a butterfly chart by reversing the bar chart to compare female and male revenue based on the product category. Since we didn't have female and male revenue here, I'll show the different how to do it using consumer or customer segments, based on the segments, to show the all the month-wise data. I'll compare that. I'm just getting back to practicals now. So you can create that butterfly chart by using bar graph normally, or you have a tornado chart to do that. What you can do is, if you are using this, it is the custom visuals in Power BI. You can get that visual if you have the Microsoft account. Otherwise, you have to do that with normal bar chart. I will do with both. So if you have an inbuilt, if you don't have inbuilt chart, you have to get that visual from if you have a Microsoft account. So what I have to do with that tornado chart, then I'll analyze this data. They have asked male and female things. So since we didn't have that male and female data here in the sales, so I'll use segment wise, maybe corporate segment data and consumer segment data based on month I'll use. So I'll select month name for my group. And I'll add to get the consumer data separately and corporate data based on the revenue if you want to get. So what I have to do is I have to filter the data for that particular segment here by using sales. So corporate or consumer, any other segments here. So corporate, consumer, I'll select new measure to do that. I'll say segment corporate or something. Segment corporate. So I'm filtering on corporate data. So to filter that, I'm calculating the sum of sales. Then what I'm doing, I'm filtering a corporate segment. I'm selecting that segment and I'm providing the corporate segment here. I'll filtering for that corporate. I'm closing it now. This creates one sum of sales based on the filter corporate. Again, I'll create one more measure to get the consumer segment filter. So I'll just pop it and I'll just create one more measure here. Instead of consumer, what I'll provide now. So instead of corporate, I'll provide consumer. Instead of corporate, I'll say consumer here. So I've created sales for the filter consumer alone and the corporate alone. So I'm just running those two and I'll add that in my visual in the same values. I'm selecting the segment and I'll select the corporate data. So it just looks like a butterfly based on the months here, which month it has highest to lowest data details you're getting. In February are the least sales for both consumer and corporate segments here. So this is not inbuilt visual in Power BI. This is the Microsoft Visual from Power BI. If you want this to be happen in your normal bar chart and all, what you can do is you can select the normal bar graph, first stacked bar graph, and first we have to select the month name again in the x-axis, in the y-axis, since it's a horizontal bar graph. So I'm selecting the month name again in the x-axis. Again, what you have to do, you have to get segment consumer and segment corporate. So one you wanted as it is and one you wanted, since you wanted to get that as a butterfly, to reverse that, you get the negative of that particular data itself, so it will be done. So I'm just creating the same thing again. So the same measures, I'm selecting the measures, I'm creating measures. So I have that corporate segments based on sales here. So I just say sales corporate. Then I'm using the same steps again. Calculate sum of that sales, orders table sales, and I'm closing that sum function. After that, I'm filtering for segment of corporate. I'm filtering for segment of corporate here. So in the same visual, I have to invert that. So I'll take the negative of consumer data. So it will be look like inverted. So you can invert that by using negative data. So that's what you can do. So instead of this, I'll just select the same measure. So wanted to filter for consumer. So I'm just creating one more measure here. I'm pasting it. Instead of just directly doing it, what I have to do, I have to get the inverter of it. So I have to multiply -1 multiplied by your entire data here. So it will invert it by selecting the consumer data there, not corporate. The same steps, but I have inverted it by using -1. After this, you drag and drop this in your visual. So in x-axis, you drag and drop that sales consumer. It will be inverted since you have inverted by using multiplied with -1. So the same sales it will get it in inverter, so you'll get minus 50k, minus 100k, but the output you should get it at 50k, 100k itself. You have to be convinced like that. So again, sales corporate data within. So to make it look like butterfly chart, you sort it based on month name or based on anything or based on highest corporate sales, then you will be done. So however you want, you can sort that. And you have to make sure you format the things. So all the x-axis values and all the y-axis values to see what's happening in which year we have the highest sales for which segment. So this is how the butterfly chart will look like. And again, x-axis values. Again, you can enable the data labels for it. Again, you can you can increase the font size, font style. You can change the font color, font style. However you want, you can get that things done. You can see which is having the highest data. You are showing the kind of butterfly chart. You're showing the two things for the same sales. For the same numerical data, you're showing the two different categorical data here. That's what you can do. So to create the butterfly chart, you can, by using bar chart, you can reverse your you can invert or reverse your one variable with one data. That's what you can do with a butterfly chart. But you don't have inbuilt visual for butterfly chart. You have to use Microsoft Visual. Either you have to go to get more visuals, there you can select the visual from Microsoft Power BI visuals and you can add it. For that you should have service account. Otherwise you can use the normal bar chart and invert one variable, then you are done. So butterfly chart is a type of bar chart that displays the two data sets or displaying two data sets side by side, usually for comparative analysis. It is often used to compare two related metrics across the same categories. That's what we did now. We are analyzing sales between two segments here, consumer and corporation. That's what it will be, like two mirrored bar charts with a central axis. And each side represent a different category or a group here. Categories are usually listed vertically in the center. That's what we can do. That's how butterfly chart works. We'll get back to next questions. Next question is, create a calculated field to show the average revenue per state and display non-profitable state and profitable state. They are asking the non-profitable state and the profitable state. So they're asking to create a calculated field to show a average revenue. So to show average revenue, you have to create a measure or a calculated field to create average revenue. We get back to practicals first. So to create average sales, to create average revenue, you have to select measures. So average is a function. You can create average revenue for it. I'll just say average revenue. This is my variable name, and I'm creating an average sales for it. Average is a function, and I'm creating the sales average here. So this is what we have created, average sales. The next thing they said, you have to display it in per state and you have to display with which is profitable and non-profitable here. So you have to create profitable status for this profit column here. You have profit column in this data set. You can see here which is the data which is greater than 0. You can say this is all profit or loss. So you create one conditional column, a conditional calculated field for it to show which is profitable and which is non-profitable states here. So to do that, you create one more calculated field here. You can do that. So by selecting the new measure or a new column based on that, so I can say new column. I can just say profit status or something. Profit status. In that, what I have to have, I wanted to have profit in if condition. I'll say if my profit, I have to create conditional statement. I'll say if my profit is greater than 0, then I'll say this is profit. I'll give alternative 2 answers for this. If that is true, then I'll get profit as output here. Otherwise, the else result I'll get loss. So if the condition satisfies, if my data, if the profit, if it's greater than 0, I'll get profit. Otherwise, I'll get loss. That's how profit status I have created here. So for this, I'll use table visual to explain which state is having the highest profitable or just not profitable states. And for we have already created average sales for that particular average sales we have created. What we can do is we can drag and drop that particular state first to analyze the average sales for that particular state. So I've dragged and dropped state. For that particular state, I'm dragging and dropping whatever the average revenue we created, average sales. So it displays average revenue based on states now. And you have to tell which state is profitable and which state is not profitable. I've created profit status here. You can select that profit status. You can see which is in the profitable, which state is not profitable by using this profit status conditional column here. By creating this profit status conditional column, that's what you can do. You can see here clearly a table chart organizes the data into rows and columns, making it easy to read detailed information here. And tables are very useful when precision and specific values are needed rather than trends or patterns here. So each row corresponding to a record and each column represents an attribute here, and can display totals and subtotals as well. And you can, for conditional formatting, it's a better insights. It's better insights like to present transactional level sales data. It will be very useful. And to you can change the you can provide a grid lines, horizontal and vertical grid lines for your table, and you can increase the width for that particular table. And you can change the border for your column names to the table data here. And you can increase the font size for the values, and you can change the font style of that particular table values, and you can change the alternative background color, and you can have the data in different color, value in different color. You can see column header. You can change the column header here. The column header values and the size and font size, you can directly see. You can see that here profit state based on that profit status. You can see all the loss data here. And if you want to see the profit details, which are the profit states here, you can clearly get that using table visual. And you have created average revenue and profit status here.